I loved Casey Kasem as a kid. That was it.
I haven't thought of that in so long. I used to listen every week to the
Stuck
top.
in my head. Stuck in my head. Stuck in my head.
You're listening to the AV-IT Amplifier. Each week, we'll feature voices and ideas that need to be amplified in the higher education and pro-AV IT communities. This show is brought to you by higheredav.com. And now here's your host, Ryan Gray.
Well, hello, everybody, and thank you for tuning in again to the AV-IT Amplifier. I am Ryan Gray. I am your host, and we are back for week 2 with my friend and now yours, Mr. Lyle Waldron. Lyle, would you please remind everybody who you are and what you do?
I'm L to the I to the N. No, I'm not doing that today.
Yeah.
I'm not doing that today, right? My name is Lyle Waldron. I'm the multimedia and audiovisual manager for a place called Trinidad and Tobago. I work at the University of Trinidad and Tobago. And we run ops all day long and try and get faculty and students all the magical technology needs they need. That's what we do. We sell dreams.
I love it. Just another person that's doing motivated by the same things and doing the same things I'm doing, just in a different environment. What are we trying to do? Use technology to help people learn and make the world a better place.
Yep.
Boom. There it is.
It's our magical user experiences.
Yeah. Well, and one of the reasons that I think, I would say we get along, or that I really like talking to you, is you are really dialed into that. That is, if I ask people what they do, a lot of times, sometimes people run down the list of their technical certifications, and you go to, I work at this university and I'm trying to make great experiences.
Period. Full stop. I mean, listen, the tech is cool, right? I mean, don't get me wrong. Being on the spectrum, being my brain's wide awake, the tech is cool. But you know what's really cooler? I had a handover demo this week we did. And we had to concatenate an hour into 20 minutes because of some scheduling stuff. But I'm there with this is the Academy of Performing Arts. So I have Michael Sherry, who is this super big actor. He was in this movie the other day that by y'all was in Cannes and stuff. I forget the name of the movie now. Oh God, is this famous? The first black woman to ever run for president. I think she was a senator too. I just can't remember her name right now. But he's in that, and he's second or third in terms of the role hierarchy. So he's in the room, and Woodward is there. He's this super cool musician, and everybody there is super cool. LaShawn Prescott, who's this big time dancer. She's danced all over the world, major shows, major festivals. And I'm going through. This is me, right? I'm going through this room with a Nuriva microphone and a PTC optics camera and INDC projector, whatever is the case, and I'm the lead designer, programmer, whatever. So I'm explaining to them how the touch screen works, and what it could do, and and they are just glowing. They are just yo, we could do what? You for real? Wait, that's a touch screen? I could annotate on it? And they just buzzing, right? Because I was also doing it as training for one of my staff members so that she could take over doing those things. And when she was, because she came from IT, she was exactly what you were talking about. Right? She was going to do well, this is the projector. This is the... I was like, Nisha, no. I was let me do my favor. Let me do today. Just watch me do everything. I'm going to do it off the cuff because clearly I didn't prepare. So you could criticize all of it, but understand the root of what we're doing here. And I just get in the room all right, cool. So there are 2 ways you're going to use this room. You're going to use this room to teach face-to-face. You're going to use this room to teach blended or online. So let's just knock off the face-to-face quick because it's easy. And I just start going through, this is how you get the room started. This is how you have the keys. And you could do this. And listen, folks, whatever you all could come up with, I can't dream of. And I'm just going down that road. And they are just oh my goodness. This is so cool. For me, that's when I know I've won the battle. That's the battle, that's the war, that's everything. I'm I did it again, son. We did it again. Yes, we did it again.
That's what triggers that serotonin, that good brain chemical. When you do that thing, you go, yes.
Yeah,
that oxytocin feeling of this is the belonging. This is the thing I do this for.
I'm sitting in there the day before, troubleshooting some issues with the camera. My camera is not working anymore with my program. What the hell did I do? Clearly I did something wrong, right? And while I'm there, a student walks in. He's like, yo, this is so cool. Apparently he's a dancer for one of the artists from Trinidad who's super huge. He just came back from LA, and he literally flew in the morning and walks into class and walks into this thing, and he's like, hi, my name is Turbo, and he shakes his hand, he does this little mini dance. I'm like, that was kind of weird, but okay, all right, cool. And he's like, oh my god, this is so cool. Do y'all have student assistants? Can I work with y'all immediately? This is a guy who's into dance who just came off a flight from LA, from God knows doing whatever they were doing, and he's now bugging out at a classroom. With what? I mean, I have the same. Well, I don't even think I have the same stuff that you have in yours, right? But is a camera, is a some kind of display? I mean, Ryan, we can't even afford TVs because it's just too much money for me to integrate them, right? So I have to go projector and screen. And he is buzzing. I'm like, yep, we did it again, Lyle. We did it again. And
Nice.
that I think is what drives me. It just drives me. This is not about the tech. It's not about the bureaucracy. It's not about the president or the provost. This is about, at first I used to say, because my son is 24 now, I used to say, I want to make this university such a cool place that my son would never want to leave here if he came to study.
Wow.
Yes,
Yeah.
I used to do this thing where I lie to myself, but I lie to myself for like cool stuff. So like if I have to run 5 miles, I lie to myself. I'm like, I'm just going to run to the corner and then I'll run to the next corner and I just keep doing that till I get to where I have to get to. So the lie I tell myself for like stuff for schools is from that old 90s movie where they were trying to go to the center of the earth to save the earth because I think somebody stopped the earth from spinning or some drama like that. I can't remember the name of the movie now. But some nerd is going to be in the chat like, this is what the movie was. And they asked one of the guys down and he's like, why are you doing this? And he pulls out this picture of like his kid. And he's like, I'm not trying to save the world. I'm just trying to save my kid.
Yeah.
So that's how higher ed has always been for me, right? My first entrances into higher ed, I was a kid. My aunt, she used to work in the School of Ed. And she brought me to sit on a panel with other kids to talk to the teachers about what is it like to be a child in school. And I remember, telling some teachers right there, like, yeah, you all call me dumb. I'm pretty smart. I don't think, and those things actually changed the way they interacted with kids. And like, I could just keep, like, they brought me back when I was in high school and I had to do it again. And then you scroll this clock forward, there's a point when I'm the chief technician at my last job. And there was a teacher who came to do his degree in education, Rand, who was the guy who said to me I'd fail and I'd never amount to anything in high school.
Right.
And he gets ghost-faced.
Yeah.
They did the whole orientation to bring up, and this is Ryan Gray, and he does blah, 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 blah. So, so they do that with me.
Yeah.
This man is like, uh-oh. I'm like, I walk straight up to my shake his hand. I'm like, hey, look, it's really good to see you. I'm like, look, calm down. What we did back in the days, like, you wasn't just the idiot, I was an idiot too, right? I was like, listen, this is my house. You need anything, you come check me. You have any tech problems, come check me, right? At the time, I was like a adjunct faculty member. I used to teach all like the tech stuff. I'm like, look, you could come sit in my class. You don't even have to like file to audit it. I'll just let you throw in the labs in the computer. And I told him straight up, I said, let me tell you something. I'm going to do for you what you didn't do for me. And that's okay. That's okay, because you have a chance to do better for somebody tomorrow. So let's get this. And he graduated and he came and he gave me this big hug and So for me, it's always about, how can I impact the student? Because if I impact faculty, then I've done that. I've done the student as well, but I miss. In my current job, I miss the student interfaces. I miss it.
I know. Okay, so down that line, here's one of my questions I like to ask people in this, which is in an alternate version of the multiverse, right?
Right. My kind of question, right?
Yeah, where you don't end up working in AV or in higher ed.
Right.
What would you be doing?
Easy, pilot. This is not up or down. This is easy. Easy, pilot. You're better off asking me my number 2. So I would want to be airline pilot. I would say I'd work for any of the majors. Like I could get that specific. My preference would be to one day fly a A380. I think I'm an Airbus guy now. I'm biased. I used to be. If it's not Boeing, it's not going. But we've known what's been happening in the past few years. So forget that. Capitalism worked its way through. Thank you, McDonnell Douglas, for destroying one of the greatest engineering companies in the world that the world has ever seen in Boeing. But yeah, I just wanted to be a pilot, and I still would. I think it's the same thing. It's service, but it's a different kind of service, and it's a service where I also can be lost for 4.5 hours programming in waypoints and holding this side stick with my left hand and trying to figure out how to land this plane in a crosswind. So that would be. Listen, I am an airline geek.
Yeah.
Right? I'm because of my autism, if I'm walking on the street and I hear or I see a plane, I immediately look up ATR 72-600. And everybody around me is like, what did you just say? Like, I did it in the night, and people are like, no way. I'm like, yeah, I pull out flight tracker on my phone, click, oh, there it is, 737-800 MAX. Like, well, how do you know that? I'm like, well, listen, it was so sickening when we had the big campus we were developing. We had these consultants from the States. I can't remember. They were the same guys who did One World Trade. I can't remember the name of the company now. The new One World Trade, that is. And I get a call one day from their handler. She comes across to my boss. She goes, Professor Roach, the consultants would like to, call Lyle across. They're going to need him for most of the week. Are you okay with that? And he's like, yeah, no problem. And I go down there and I'm kind of worried. I'm like, why don't want me for the week for? Because of course, he's all these American guys, and you know, all American AV guys look. We kind of look the same. We wear jeans. We have like a big stomach, and our belts go under the stomach, and we all wearing polos. And you know, I go in there.
Beards, and we're white,
Yeah,
and we're
beards,
balding.
and
I don't know why.
usually,
I got it, man. I understand.
Usually,
things. You didn't have to point all that out right now.
I was trying to be a nice guy, partially. Right?
No, I know. Yeah,
so
exactly.
I get down there, I sit in the chair, and because I just had an interaction with the super boss guy who was there before, because it's a big national government contract or whatnot. So they sent the big wigs. He came in, so just quick flashback to the day before. He comes in, they broke us out into individual rooms. I'm there with the multimedia consultant. And he walks in like, all right, guys, so we need you all to get some work going. And Ryan, you know me, I'm conversational. So me and this guy, we just chatting. We chatting. We are not talking about anything to do with AV or the system design, right? We on whatever. And he's like, no, you all really could get some. We've got a lot to do. We've only got 5 days. And the guy looks at him and goes, no, we done. The boss man was not having it. He calls, he's like, hey, 1 second. Ryan, can I see you outside?
Yeah.
He goes outside, and the guy comes back in like he sees a ghost. And he looks at me and he goes, you did everything already? I go, yeah.
Yeah. He
goes, you really CTS certified? Because I actually had on an Avixa polo, right? I'm like, yeah. He's like, wow. And I was like, all right, cool. So when they called me back the next day, they didn't even call me on system stuff. I was the only person that read the entire document, including the BMS and all the other things. They called me back to ask, well, how you know so much about planes?
Right.
I sat for the week talking to them about planes flying in and out of Trinidad, and what all the connections were, and where everybody lands. And United goes through Houston. It lands at this period of time, so that means you could get this connection to where and this connection to there. And you know, if you fly American, you might have to go through Phoenix. So as a two-hopper, I was it whole time. And they were just astounded. They were like, why do you know this? I'm like, buddy, the amount of things I have in my head that I have no use for on a daily basis, you would be surprised.
Yeah, that's
so
awesome.
It's
no,
crazy.
It fits that same, like, I am not at your level on that, but my daughter actually is the same. She's got the flight app. She's always identifying planes, and where she is, she can see. She's either, you know, can see the outgoing or the incoming pattern at the Phoenix airport, and
I'm envious of her just being in Phoenix, because it's not like you'll have the mountain range, right? But she's gonna see every takeoff and every landing.
All of that stuff.
All
it's
of them.
All
so
yeah, like this is the 747 from Heathrow or from London, you know, and that sort of thing. It's
I'm
awesome.
envious just being on it. So fun fact, outside of like getting to see you all in Vegas this year, my high point was, because I got there super early, if you remember, so I had to stay down the street at the Excalibur. And when I was like, wait a minute, I'm opposite the airport. So I go and I open my window, and right there in front of me is Janet Air. So I'm saying Janet Air. Do you know what Janet Air is, Ryan?
No.
I know, right? So this is fun, nerdy fact. Janet Air is the Black Ops airline that flies people to, we don't know, but we think it's Area 51.
Oh,
and
that's
exactly,
right.
Exactly,
yes,
right?
with the planes that have no paint, they're all
it's a white 737.
White.
It's a white 737, like 400 or 500 or whatever. I don't think they upgraded
that's
them.
Right.
And it's got an orange stripe down the side on the windows.
Looks like a Tylenol. I remember that. Yeah.
Janet Air is right there. And like every minute I was wherever, when we went up to the Westgate or whatever, every time I moved, I looked up, Janet Air was like stalking me. I was like, yo. So I have that on your daughter. She should be, next time we do Vegas, just bring her for Janet Air alone. She's going to be so happy with you. Trust me.
That's
so cool.
awesome. That's awesome. I love that. I love
so
that.
Cool.
All right. So question.
Yes.
In the movie of when they make the movie of your life, your autobiography movie.
All right.
Two questions. One, who plays you?
God.
And two, what is the title of this film?
Oh my God, that is a tough one. I'm gonna be vain for a second, because I don't think I'm not cute. I think I'm all right, but I don't think I'm not cute. So I think
you're good, man.
I think I'm not bad off, man. But because I don't think I'm not cute, I'm gonna take Denzel Washington just off the top, just off the top, right? It's gonna be my vanity piece, and it's gonna be called The Life and Times. That's it. Not even The Life and Times of, just The Life and Times.
Nice.
Because listen, I would love, and I know this will sound very self-serving, but it's not. My same buddy who was telling me about, you should be a reviewer for DJ equipment. I've told them like so many stories. I remember opening for Lifehouse and Evanescence in our national stadium. Evanescence comes down for a concert. I'm working for the then Z100 kind of station that we have down here, Star 947, and like we absolutely smash it as the in-between DJ. like had everybody singing out the lungs, whatever is the case. And I remember seeing Lifehouse, the band, standing on the side of the stage because they're about to come on. And
how are we going to follow this?
In the height of my Lyle hubris, Ryan, I walk off. And again, remember, I'm super tall, so this is the context. I kind of look down at the guy, and I say to him, I was like, good luck. And I just like it's like superstar, like call me one name Madonna levels of just good luck. And I just watch this guy's like, oh my
you
God.
Upstaged Lifehouse?
Yeah, it was fun though. It was like, it was so bad because I used to work on 2 radio stations at the same time. I also used to work on the urban station. So all the urban guys had like backstage passes and they were just chilling. And I remember the big radio team, the big morning show kind of thing for Saturday mornings, they were down by the engineer's tent. So I was walking through the crowd feeling myself because I want to soak this moment in. Oh, that's the other picture that I love of myself, by the way. I will send it to you on iMessage so you could see it. It's really a cool picture of me. And I remember I walked up to the booth. And one of the guys, he'd been on radio for like a decade before me. He was like, all right, don't feel like all that now. Eh? Don't feel like you're the big man now. I'm like, I kind of am though. You are chill, right? So, yeah, it will be called the Life Fun Times. Nice. And Denzel's gonna play me. Yes. And it's gonna be fun because we're gonna have the whole DJ side of it because I've done a whole set of cool stuff over there. I'm DJed so many times in the States next to so many cool people. One of my favorites was getting to DJ with the Clark Kent. So if you're a hip-hop head, Clark Kent is the guy who like brought Biggie to the radio station. He's the guy who like brought the Wu-Tang Clan to the station. And I remember when Clark Kent said to me, he's like, you pretty good. Because I was like, oh my God, you so bad. He's like, you not half bad yourself, kid? I'm like, Clark Kent said I'm the man. All right. Like nobody could talk to me for like 2 weeks after that. So this movie will be absolutely dope.
Well, the soundtrack of this movie is going to be...
It's going to be crazy.
Awesome.
Oh yeah, for sure. It's going to be broad. I like me some Tiesto. In the Dark is going to have to be in there. I'm going to have some Oasis in there. Going to have some 311 in there. Going to have some Caribbean stuff. Going to get all my dancehall in there. My Beanie Man, my Bounty Killer. Maybe I'll touch a Shaggy. Definitely some Sean Paul. It's going to be crazy. The soundtrack will be insane. 90s hip-hop. Oh, God.
Okay, so then here's my request.
Yeah, right.
We need the Life and Times
He's gonna say
soundtrack.
Playlist. Yeah, I knew he was gonna do that.
Spotify playlist.
Challenge taken. I'm gonna do it because of you. I'm challenged, accepted. I'm gonna do it.
I think of this all the time when I'm going through like which of my playlists do I, and I'm always just like I should have just run a recording on Lyle playing in the booth all day every day because I could live there.
Y'all and Hetma have no idea how hard it is to do that. Like I mean, like. Listen to me, you all have no idea. So, I mean, somebody did ask me this year in Vegas, right? And I look at them with, like, puppy dog eyes, like, thank you for understanding, right? Yeah. Because, one, I don't want to disappoint you all ever. So, I have to, like, overthink every track in this playlist. And no, I don't prepare it from home. I really don't.
Right.
What I will do coming up to, like, okay, I've had my coming up, I will start to think about what's my theme I want, what is the story I want to tell you all. But as like, I don't start to touch the crates at all. When I get there, every morning I get up, I go, okay, what's the first song I want to play today? And what is my mainstay for the day? And as everything else after that is a complete, crazy as it sounds, right? It's a complete freestyle. Like, I've never.
But it adapts to what's going on, the level and the energy and who's there and what's happening at the time. That's what I'm saying. Like, I know it's a known unknown. I know I don't know what it takes to do it, but I know it's exceptional. It's absolutely exceptional.
The physical stress is amazing because I always have to find the 6-minute track to run to the bathroom. That one by itself is usually funny because y'all never know. Right? And then, like, if I don't do this properly, then 9 times out of 10, I'm going to eat like dinner and I have like breakfast, but that's it. Like, I don't do the in-betweens. And like, if I'm super lucky, somebody will go, wait a minute, Lyle hasn't moved from there. Like, it's like, yeah, cool. Yeah. But this is just how I am. I'm like a pit bull when it comes to these things. I'm committed to the cause. So, I mean, bring it back to school. As I said, if I'm like next to you, under you, working with you on your team, I'm a pit bull. What we doing this week? This is what we doing. I'm going to get it till it's got. Like, I don't play. So it's hard, but it's fun, though. I will not lie.
You're all, like, you do things all the way.
Listen, once I get Natalia going, shout out Natalia from Northwestern. Once Nats is going, It's done for me. I'm like, all right, she's dancing. I'm good. I've won the war.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm done.
That's awesome.
Done.
But it also
Natalie,
a service thing, right? Like you were saying before,
same.
that's a service.
It really
it's
is.
a service industry. It's an creation of an experience.
That is all it is. My primary is Hetma people, so I'm just always looking at you all. Even when you like make the lap, if you're doing the walk-arounds and the tours, I'm like, all right, let me see if I get this right. I need the energy to be right. Sometimes I need the energy down. Sometimes I need the energy up. But then I have to figure it out. I have to do it for like 2 days, and 3 days. And I have to make sure that it does not sound the same as the next thing that's super hard. But, we make it do what it do. It's been 2 years. Let's see if I can do that 3rd year in a row. I think I can.
Yes, you can.
I think I can.
All right. Or Lyle the philosopher, here's your question.
Oh, Lord.
Ready? Are people generally good with a proclivity for evil, or generally evil with a proclivity for good?
That's another cheat code for me, right? So I used to be a ravenous reader, and I still ravenously buy books, even though I have no money for it, but I do. I'm always going to move away from the Lord of the Flies theory of this. Humans are not. And a part of that, I have to give credit where credit is due. If you've never read the book Humankind by Rutger Bregman, you need to. If you are worried about where we are, and I'm worried about where we are daily, I'm seeing the impact of social media. I'm seeing the impact of the internet. It's destroying us as humans go. It's isolating us more and making us less social. And this is from people close to me to people furthest away from me, right? Mm-hmm. But yet and still, I know that the almost 14 examples that Rutger Bregman cites in Humankind always prove to us that in a time of a disaster, people come together. In World War II, when the V-2 rockets were hitting London, there were no more rich folk and poor folk. Everybody was huddled around a fire in the rubble, boiling potatoes and trying to make sure the kids ate first.
Yeah.
If there is a crash on the highway, on the interstate, what happens? Most people pull aside. They slow down other cars. Those people are going to be Republicans. Some of them are going to be Democrats. Some of them are going to be super conservative. Some of them are going to be ultra orthodox. But in that moment of crisis, where humanity requires us to be the most human, we always are. Unless and insofar the politics gets to us, unless and insofar our deep, darker fears get to us. So, Ryan is Ryan. He doesn't have a ton of Lyle-looking friends. Then when he's walking up to Lyle in the road, he's super cautious, and some of those fears may spill over into other far more negative things. But the reality is, if Ryan saw a car flip over, he figures out that I don't know anybody looks like Lyle a long time after. Yeah. Right? So for me, the evidence is on the side of humanity is inherently good. I exist there through and through. As a matter of fact, the book kind of points out with historical data that the Lord of the Flies was the opposite. That what happened to those kids on the island was not what was written, sensationalized in the book. Surprise.
Right.
It was actually the opposite. They helped each other. They this, that, the other. There was some kid who, was trying to go awry, and the village shamed them into, that's not how we're going to do this. So, yeah, humans are good.
And extrapolating out on that, like the examples of, put people into situations where their biases, you know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So, like, something urgent makes that bias recede, and then you get to the true core of who they
mm-hmm.
are, right? If someone's in peril, if there's mm-hmm. that sort of thing, is going to reveal the underlying truth rather
mm-hmm.
than exacerbate it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sorry to be so anti-Hobbesian, but it is who I am. I really do believe humans, we do bad things. We always do. Listen, we all of us do dumb stuff. But I don't think as humans are as a creation that we are bad. Yeah. I don't think dogs are bad. I don't think cats are bad. I've seen dogs bite people, but I've also seen dogs be loving pets who, if your leg's broken in the forest, they run out, get help. So I think, broadly speaking, and I'm not one who always pulls on spirituality or scripture, but if we were supposed to be made in an image and likeness of something greater than ourselves, then we can't. And this is funny because there's some people who believe in both, but it doesn't make sense to me. We can't say we're image and likeness, but we're also inherently evil. It makes no sense to me. So, just my thoughts. These are some good questions, buddy. This is deep. I like this. I like this.
Too. These are the conversations that are fun for me.
Yeah, you have no idea. You have no idea.
You get the award for the first philosopher name drop that I've had on the show.
Oh, that's
you referred
easy.
to you. Sorry about being anti-Hobbesian. That's a great reference right there.
I'm a Rousseau guy. I can't lie. I'm sorry. I am a reader of the Chomskys. I've read Thomas Sowell as well, but I am more in the Chomsky line of thought. Rutger Bregman for me is really a modern day thinker whose thought patterns I appreciate in many ways.
Yeah.
Tressie McMillan Cotton, she's another lady that I think if you've not read, she's got a book called Thick, a compilation of essays, blah, blah, blah. But it's a fantastic, fantastic read. So I wish I had more time to read anything other than a Crestron Fusion PDF.
Yeah.
But
That's where I'm the same way when I pick out things to read, or like even these conversations, right? Like we can talk tech all the time, right? When we're done here, I gotta go figure out why a thing isn't appearing in the Dante VLAN the way it's supposed to, right?
Let me tell you, I end up buying books because of that. There's a guy, Ezra Klein. He used to work for the New York Times. I'm not too sure where he is right now, but he used to end every one of his interviews asking his guests, so name 3 books that the audience would want to read.
Yeah.
And they would call these 3 books out, and I would go buy them, and I never read them. I just have all the books on the shelf. I have no time to read them.
Oh yeah, that's a great idea, and you never get around. I'm the same way. I have a list of like things that people I know that I trust start saying, like, you've got to watch this thing. You've got to watch. I have this list. I never will get to it.
Listen, Don Norman's the Everyday Design book that I've spoken about for the past decade plus. I think I finally got to like 100 and something the other day pages. I still have like 3/4 of the book to read, right? But I've been touting this as a design Bible. Everybody should read this book. They're like, but Lyle, you didn't get past page 13 for 10 years.
Right.
Like, that's my point. I didn't need to because it was that good.
The first 13 pages were pretty good.
First 13 pages were lit. I didn't have it.
That's a pretty good episode title right there for me. The first 13 pages are lit.
They're just lit.
Yeah,
lit.
That's awesome. Okay, everyone gets the same last 3 questions.
Oh, dope.
You ready?
Yeah.
Third to last question.
Uh-huh.
What is a question that you wish you would be asked, but nobody ever asks?
How are you doing?
What do you mean by that?
Well,
I bet you have people say, how you doing all the time. Wow.
Yes, because it's a social construct, and we're required to ask people, hey, Ryan, how you going, boy? Right? That's how we'd say it in Trinidad. Ryan, how you doing, boy? You good? But there are not many people who ask that question and actually can receive the answer. Because oftentimes the answer is never fine, good, okay, not too bad. The real answer is far more nuanced. And for me, the reason I said, how are you? Sometimes that how are you is the bridge across, a bridge over a river of worry and pain and suffering that an individual may have that allows them to discuss it.
Yeah.
But you have to be prepared if you're asking that question to really be able to discuss it. And because for me, I mean, again, right, I like you, Ryan. I like the Hetman family. I like all of us. So for me, I'm always literally in my element when I'm around y'all. Y'all make me feel a part of something. I don't feel alone. We have the same problems. Schools, it's like, oh wait, other people in schools, this is so cool. So, for me around y'all, you're not going to see that. But for me in my regular life, for my whole life, I was like 6'3" when I was 13. So I remember I used to have to play basketball with the big kids. And I got a tooth here that is shifted. The reason that tooth was shifted is a shorter guy, he jumped under me and hit me. I was wearing a mouth guard, right? So it's pretty horrible. But I'll never forget what he said. He's like, but you're big. You could take that. I'm like, this is a bloody mouth, right? And that's been the story of my life. So I don't really have a lot of people who would be like, hey, like, how you going? How you? So for me, I ask 2 things usually. I'll be like, Ryan, how you going? You good? He's like, yeah, good. Da, 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 da. And at some point in the convo, I go, no, Ryan, I'm asking this again. It's not the same question. How is Ryan going?
Yeah.
So how's Ryan doing? You all right? Your family's good? Everything's good? And hopefully in that moment, you're like, no, I'm actually really good. Daughter XYZ the other day, wife was rah, 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 rah. And I kind of get a sense you're good. Because let me tell you where we all are with how are you. We look at the image, the thumbnail in iMessage, and we see a smile. We look at the thumbnail on WhatsApp. I've never seen a sad Instagram picture. I've never seen an Instagram video where somebody's crying.
Yeah.
And even I sometimes fall into the trap that I would look at these profile pics, the professional headshot or whatever it's the case, and I tell myself, yeah, Ryan's doing all right. I'm not gonna message him today. Or I tell myself, well, he's busy. I don't want to message him, which is a little more legitimate. But we oftentimes say, how are you? But we don't ask, how are you? So that's the question for me.
I love the way that you talked about that, and that's one of the, like I said, everyone gets this question, and that is one of the most popular answers to it, because I think people do actually strive for, you know what I'm saying, more connection when it feels like we're not supposed to actually ask and answer that. But what you said there was kind of that. So I always follow up with, okay, how can we ask the question that signals that we are ready to hear it. And you changed it by putting the person's name in it,
Yes.
right? Which is, how's Ryan? You know, it's like, how's Lyle? And it that feels, you're right, like that regrounds it into something that says, I'm actually asking about you, not just passing on a colloquialism.
I mean, existentially, I'm removing you and bringing you into between you and I as a concept, and I'm saying to you, because I'm talking to you the whole time, I'm like, how is Ryan Gray doing? And if I get to Ryan Gray, it means I'm a little worried. How's Ryan Gray doing? Yeah. And you now have to also look at this imaginary point of Ryan Gray and make an assessment as how you want to answer it. Because it also comes with no strings, all right? I'm not forcing you to answer it anyway. If you just want to tell me fine, okay, it's all good. Most people are also not accustomed to being asked how they're doing in the real sense. So a lot of people are not gonna know what to do with that. I know for me, I crave it. I wish, of course, people that mattered, because the wrong person asked me how I'm doing. I'm like, what you talking about, Luce? I don't know who you be, all right? So, but yeah, I mean, for me, again, I can only speak for myself. It's the thing I would desire the most, to be not so much worried about, but to be thought of, to be present somewhere in this 9 billion people on Earth. Am I really alone to the point where nobody cares?
Right.
And that one little question, those 3 words, how are you?
Yeah.
How are you really?
And we know, we know you're not. We know there are people who care, but it takes something to break down and help, for people to feel comfortable about it's okay to ask. It's okay to really engage versus,
Yeah.
All right.
But ask the question.
All right. Second to last question.
All right.
If people wanted to get in contact with you to learn more about who you are, what you do, or just reach out to ask you who you are, how would they go about doing that?
The number one way is going to be email. I'm going to give you all my email address. Ryan's going to put it in the show notes. It's L as in Lima, I as in India, S as in Sierra, L as in Lima, E as in Echo, dot, W as in Whiskey, A as in Alpha, L as in Lima, D as in Delta, R as in Roger, O as in Oscar, N as in November, Lyle.Waldron at utt.edu.tt. Oh, Siri, behave. Right? .edu. As I said, I live in the States, just in Trinidad. .edu.tt, right? utt.edu.tt. Or just hit me up on iMessage or WhatsApp, 868-683-2442. That's literally the number. Spam it.
It is.
You'll be surprised how much spam calls I get from the States every day. Hi, this is your Medicare health representative. I'm like,
Have anything wrong? A car warranty? You need to renew your car warranty.
I get a few of those.
IRS has got a warrant out for our arrest.
That one I never got. Thank God for small mercies. Thank God.
All right. Final question.
Yes.
And this would be an interesting one to phrase for you, because you have been a DJ, so you know kind of what it's like to put on a show. You're doing this sort of thing. But lots of people who, if it's the end of their show or an interview or something like that, they have their own kind of drop the mic sign-off phrase, the way they would end it. So what is Lyle Waldron's drop the mic sign-off phrase?
I have no idea. This is a tough one, because I usually leave people wanting more. I already say so much. So I usually, my drop the mic phrases, I don't say anything. Right? That last commercial break, you get the top of the hour, the drop hits, and then there's the next guy. You're like, wait, he's gone? And that's that. But if I have to steal one, let me go back to a happier time in my life. Always happiest time is when I was a kid. So Casey Kasem, keep your feet on the ground and keep reaching for the stars.
Thank you for listening to the AVIT Amplifier. Join us again for next week's episode, when we'll welcome a new guest who you'll want to hear from. We promise. Your host has been Ryan Gray. He's on the tweeters at Ryan_A_Gray, or find him on LinkedIn to connect. Please subscribe and give the show a rating and review wherever you get your podcasts. This show is brought to you by higheredav.com. The views expressed here are not necessarily those of our respective institutions, employers, or sponsors. Everyone hang in there, go easy, and we'll be back next week.